Okay, welcome to my channel. What I'm going to talk about today is 3D modeling. I'm a member of Discord. Let me see if I can get on here. Oops, I need to go to, let's go to this one. Anyway, or let's go to home. I guess that is home. Or in terminus. Anyways, my awesome toots is one I'm on. Okay. And I've showed off some of my work here and stuff. Anyway, I'm on Discord as Twisted Sister, capital T, capital S, words are run together. If you have a want to get on here and talk to me, I'm on a few different channels on here, but if you go at Twisted Sister, like here, at Twisted Sister, then it will bring you can either message me, or I think it refers you to these channels. I don't have a personal channel set up. It's kind of funny, I had got in here under a different name. I guess this is my server. I've never really set it up. So anyways, enough of that. Let's come out of that. So I've been working in Blender for let's go. Let's see if I can find my let's go to desktops. Let's go to USB. Let's go to 3D ship models. I actually do a lot of actual physical ship models, or I have not done much as of late. Here's a picture of actually, no, that's some of my newer stuff. That's working with some 3D modeling and kind of some kit bashing stuff. So I want to go to something that I'm actually doing. Dante Alighieri. Here we go. Shh. Foof, quit. It's my chihuahua. So this is something I was kind of working on. This is an Italian battleship design from wasn't it let me oh, I see why, because it didn't have me selected there. All I was trying to do is, there we go, I was trying to rotate around. This is, I actually took this out of one of the books I have. This is a 28,000 ton, I think it was. No, I think it was heavier than that. It's a 23,000 ton ship design that was Italy was thinking about in 1928. We do that. Let's see. There we go. That's straight up down. Anyways, so I've modeled some things like this, which is similar to the stuff they put in World of Warships. I've even asked World of Warships. I've seen if they were interested in any of my model designs, and so far they really haven't been, which is fine. Yeah, I do want to quit, thank you. But so I have a background in Blender modeling, and I've modeled some aircraft also, which I could show you that quick. Probably I need to go out of here. I actually think I have a folder for the aircraft. Let's see. It's the Wyoming. Actually, and that wasn't one this isn't one I modeled. This is one I downloaded so it could give me an idea of how they model these for War Thunder, which I'm not too far off track there. Mine are actually probably more poly. I need to like lower my poly count down. I actually make mine probably, what you would say in a sense, I make mine too complex for what they're wanting to do. But this has given me an idea of how to basically section my aircraft, you know, because I have a few airplanes I'm working on that I actually do want to put into the what's called the Creator Content Development Kit for War Thunder. So this kind of helps give me an idea of how they section the parts and pieces and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and get it. And how they name the hierarchy and some of that kind of stuff. So anyways, as of late, I have been interested in character creation. And I'm kind of interested in, let's see, do I get Daz here? No, I don't. So let's click on a new one and let's go, that crap off there. Let's go Daz 3D. Daz 3D. And I'm sure if you're interested in modeling, you've probably already seen this. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. What's nice about Daz makes the most of their money from selling this content. And they have a lot of artists that make content for them or work on the model kind of stuff. But if we pop into the shop right here, and of course this is like the new stuff. So they have all kinds. I don't want to get too deep into this stuff now, especially if you're somebody that's just a beginner and you're watching this. I don't want to talk about stuff that would be, you know, more or less in a sense over your head. But the basic thing about Daz is if you download Daz Studio, and they call it Daz Studio, you can get, they had the Genesis models, which is you had a male and a female. And then they had Genesis 1, they had Genesis 3, they kind of went up, they were kind of moving towards the 4, but they ended up going up into Genesis 8, and you download Studio, you get your Genesis 8. Do I got my Daz Studio on here? Yes, I do. So let me pop into Daz Studio right quick. And we'll talk about that a little bit, and that takes a minute or two. So, but if you wanted to, anyways, you could come in here and you have all kinds of options of these things that's been created and or worked on from these base models and stuff, and they've made these models. Here's Bet. This one's named Best for Genesis 8, and so somebody took the Genesis 8 base model and they morphed this face. You can change the hair, but this probably comes with this hair. And then not necessarily the outfit. Sometimes they come with the outfits or the base. They have basic outfits. This kind of shows her in what you'd call like grayscale without the texture. The hair's textured, but the face and stuff aren't. And these are picture renderings of the model. So anyway, if you wanted basically this female or this look, and this shows you that you can change, this is all the eye combinations and lips and eyeshadow and eyebrows and stuff that are morphs that come with the model. So you could buy her, and then it's letting you know down here that the hair and this hair and that hair and that hair. So all them hairs that you've seen on here actually don't come with her. I do think they do have a base hair. No, Now, what's nice in a sense, it looks like this artist is selling this model for 40% off. Normally it's $18.95, but you could buy it right now for like $11.37, which is reasonable. And it doesn't show, because usually the artist can put they can put a license on this to where if you buy this for basically the $12, we'll say $12, and that means you could use this model to render art, digital art. You could use this to make pictures like this in Dad's studio, basically. And or if you know what you're doing, you could put her in other programs. You could render her in Blender or Maya or Autodesk or whatnot. But these pictures are renders of her in this outfit and that pose. Okay, so this one actually is kind of that might be a bargain if she doesn't have the license, because let me go back out of here. I want to find one with the license, unless that's going to be a new trend, which would be really nice. Because the thing is, like I'm like this here. See so this is a bedroom. This is a scene. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about too. You can buy this bedroom scene. Now this girl isn't in it. This is the bed and the pictures and the lights and the different props. And usually you can move the props around, and they're just using the model to show in the scene. But this is actually the model of the bedroom with the wardrobe and the plants and the mirror. All these props come in this bedroom scene. So if you wanted to do a bedroom scene thing, and you could buy this for basically $15, and I don't know if they have if they set up a sky thing to make it look like a yard or whatever. But so anyway, here's kind of a picture of the model. So that's the model, but you'd pretty much set it up so that you would render your pictures from different camera angles inside. Just like if you, in a sense, was going to take real pictures of a real house and stuff. Okay. Now this has this optional license add-ons. This is what I'm talking about. This would be, if I wanted to buy this bedroom model and with the props, I wanted to go ahead and pay the $15 for this. And I want to put this in a game engine. I actually want to put this room in a game, in a game engine in a game. Then I have to pay $50 for the license to do that, because that means the players have access to this stuff. Or depending on my game, if I made the game where you could make the bed, or like in World of Warcraft, you usually can't move the props around. You usually go in and the props are usually not interactive, other than you can sit in a chair in the bars, some of the bars and stuff, but you usually can't. Like they have a bedroom upstairs, and you can sit on the bed, you can lay on the bed, but you can't get under the covers. You can't make the bed. But this looks like you could actually pose her and move the blankets and the quilts and stuff around. So if you was to put it in the game like that, especially, that would make it really interactive. And that's why they want that. They want that $50 to I don't know. I could read you the thing. I'm not going to read it. If you're interested and you go into Daz, you can read their ELU, their license agreement stuff. But what impressed me with Daz, okay, let's go out of here, see if my studio's loaded. My studio's loaded. It says Daz, okay, whatever. No, I don't want to participate in the crash program right now. I just want to. No, I don't want to connect to it right now either, because I'm just. Now, see, this is kind of nice. The studio doesn't cost anything; it's free. That's one of the things I liked about Blender, is that this is free, and this also, they give you a program called Hexagon. Now, if you don't know nothing about 3D modeling, but you want to start learning about 3D modeling, Hexagon isn't too bad of a way to go. Or if you actually want to end up making content for Dad someday, Hexagon's probably not a bad program to learn, because it's a little bit simpler. and it's a 3D model program. It's not like Blender. Blender's awesome, but Blender has become, it used to be known as the jackknife of because it had a game engine in it, and it was a video editor, and it was a 3D modeling program. And I'm pretty decent with 2.79 with modeling, but I never did learn a lot of the other disciplines of it. But 2.8, man, it rivals Autodesk. And some of you guys, I don't know, some of you people that have done Maya or Autodesk and those kind of programs, and you've done them forever, and you're used to them. If they're your thing, that's good. All for it. And you might not think that Blender rivals those programs, but the 2.8 does. It flat out rivals them, and it's free. It's shareware. So, anyways, I don't really want this. I want to close that. I don't want that quick starter guide. I think I just hit the X here. So I got Daz Studio, and let's go to. No, let's go back to, is it Smart Content? Figures. Okay, Genesis 8. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go in here and... No, come on, let's go back to figures. There we go. Okay. So here's your Genesis 8 female and your Genesis 8 male. Let me go with the Genesis 8 male because the Genesis 8 female isn't really... And I don't know why it's looking like this. Usually it's supposed to be more gray. This is more the silver. And then, anyways, so your Genesis, your base models are free. See, and you got all these things where you can morph them and stuff like that, which I'm not going to get into too much right now. But you can do a lot with DAS. But the big thing what I wanted to talk about is you could actually take this character. We'll do the female since she's not. I don't know if they did this silver thing just because I got two models here. That looks interesting. Makes it look like a male with some estrogen problems there. Is it Alt? See, and I need to go back in here. I don't even know how to rotate on this anymore. But anyway, these two characters, you can export these characters. No, I don't want to save them. You can export the characters, the Genesis 8 male or female, and or if you wanted the older ones, the 3s or whatever. But you can export them as an FBX, or I don't know what was the. Let's see. That's the Galligante. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. So this is Blender. Anyway, you can bring those Genesis characters into here, and I brought them in here before. And let's see. Let's go to desktop again. Let's see. Is it game characters? No. That's the actual models. Game projects, maybe. Zone extra art. It's not there. Okay. Humans, maybe. Okay, here's the pictures I wanted to show you. So this is what I've done in Blender. Is like this. I was working on some armor, and this is the actual Genesis 8 base character in Blender. And I was using it to, like I was putting a helmet on him. I was working on an armor plate. I actually made this and I put it in 3D coat and textured it. I need to learn how to save the files. This is just like I have it mixed in with art. I need to get my folders a little bit better off. But taking that male body, I actually made this armor plate cutting a Spartan armor plate to go on him. And I was working on the helmet, and this is another helmet. I got it textured a little different. This is kind of the helmet that came out of Superman, and I was playing with the idea of altering it so that it didn't look exactly like the one in Superman, and making like an armor helmet out of it. Here's a sword I made and a shield I made. They got the shield. It's almost too big, and part of it's just the angle we're looking at it. But the thing I was getting at is that I have a whole course on how you basically model a human body in Blender. And if you really want to do that, or if you want to learn how to do that, go into Udemy, or send me a text, send me a YouTube chat text, or send me a thing on Udemy or on Discord, and I will give you a link to that class. You can usually pick those classes up between $10 and $20. Sometimes not, but usually on Udemy I just wait and they go on sale, and they say that they're $100, but they'll sell them for like $10 or $12, stuff like that. Here's a side view with the sword and the shield and stuff. So anyways, you can do a lot of this stuff in Blender. Let's get out of there. You can do a lot of stuff in Blender, but recently I've probably spent about $600 or so buying. I bought this character creator, Crazy Talk. It's called Crazy Talk 8. The Exchange. I bought this whole pipeline thing. This iClone. And it's quite a bit of money. It's got a lot of power. It's pretty interesting. It's more automated in some ways. But it's also limiting. It's limiting in the way that you're limited to, in a sense, the amount of stuff you buy. I'm actually looking into this as to be a developer, and I want to, like the sword that you've seen and the shield that you've seen, and I'm working on spears and axes and stuff like that. Let's see what this is. Unsaved data? No. For some reason, if I tell it stick on the unsaved data, it makes problems. But this is Character Creator 3, and this is a bot program. Now, I got lucky. I kind of bought this. I caught this and iClone on their anniversary sale, so I probably saved about $300 on this. But I'm throwing you the straight and skinny. Between Character Creator 3, which is made for you to make characters in, which are pretty much similar and or rival the DAZ characters. And I mean, in a way, they're free also. The program's not free, so they're not free. But where DAZ, the DAZ studio is free, if you just want to use the free model to put into another software, then yeah, that's free. This one wouldn't be free if you bought Character Creator 3, but if you just wanted the characters out of it, I wouldn't recommend it. If you were just buying this to try to get Character Creator 3s. But I'm actually using this as a, like I would call an augmentation tool, like an artist would buy extra brushes or something like that. So anyway, this is it opens with your female character. And I'm going to leave the bra and panties on her, like I said, because some people took them off, and it doesn't really show genitalia, but it shows the nipples and stuff. It's not really YouTube friendly if you got 5-year-olds looking at it, so we'll leave that on there. And I could go into, well, let's see, let's go here to window, and let's go to, let's see, content manager. There we go. And let's go to avatar, and let's go to, I could go into morphs, and I could actually see if I want to change her, if I want to, and this is just the base thing. So see, I just made her heavy like that. or even, this is kind of funny too. Now, if I put the heavy male body on her, it kind of changed her into a heavy male, but yet it keeps some of the it kind of kept the female face too away, but it made her like the heavy male body and stuff like that. And let's go strong female. And these are just kind of base morphs to start you out. If you already kind of have an idea, you want an athletic female, or you want a muscular guy, or whatever, you can start there, and then you can actually go to over here, and you can just do the whole 9 yards. You can go into the full body. Okay, now these are two I bought, but see, I also got this ogre, which I could load the ogre, or I can actually use this ogre morph, to make her look like an ogre or an orc. Or if you want to go kind of, oh, that's the scale, so that just makes her big. So, but if I wanted to make her like a giant, say she's about 5'10", and I take this full body scale and I increase her size. Now, if I back off, you can't really tell that I changed her size, but she might be 12 foot right now, or or if you go the whole way. I don't know the calculations. I'd like to actually figure it out, and I think on some of these, because I also think that's full body, and I think there's also I think if you go into actor, I think there's also another one where it says basically the character scale, so you could actually double the scale. You could make her to where she's probably about 30 or 40 foot tall. You could make her a giant, like in Game of the Thrones giant stuff. Now if I come in here and I go, let's see, let's go to load project. Let's say I want to, open project, there we go. So if I have some that are bases, I don't think any of them are nude, but I'm going to load one that I'm pretty sure isn't. No, I don't want to save. It's asking me, do I want to save this, or do I just want to change the costumes? Hopefully this will load up. Okay, so this is one. What I did was I made her kind of muscular, and I made her larger breasted, and I give her kind of like elfish, orcish ears there, or you could call them elf ear. It's an elf ear modification, but okay, come on, there we go. So anyways, I have her as a character, and I made her skin all red, so if I want to make her like a demon, let's go into clothing here, and let's go into, let's see, I'm into cloth, and I'm trying to think, we're in underwear. I don't need underwear, although I could change her underwear if I really wanted to. Let's go. Now this is stuff about playset assassins. Now this is what I'm talking about, where it's limiting. Now if I had either enough free stuff or enough stuff where I made my own, let's say I'm jokingly kind of, but let's say I had like 200 different bras to put on her. So I can trade that bra out, but at the moment I have 2 warrior bras. So I have one that looks like it's metal. I have one that kind of looks like it's chain link. So let's put the chain link bra on her just to show you. And okay, now one thing it's doing that I don't like, but it's okay. It's clipping, but what it's also doing, they have different numbers. So the bra went on her, but the bra, the other bra is still on her. So now I can select that. I can delete it. Okay. So the more or less the chain link or the metal leaf or whatever you want to call it bra is on her. And it was kind of made to go with this. We'll throw the corset on her. Okay, And I always look for clipping, which I kind of have some ideas about clipping. And then we'll put this warrior underwear on her. Okay, so you see I put the warrior underwear, which is kind of more like a thongy thing. But if I right click it and then I click on underwear bottoms, delete, so then I can take the bikini one off. So now she has this on, which is, okay, it's kind of sexy. It's not really functional stuff, but she's covered, which is good. So let's go into shirts now. See, they have all of these shirts that are free, and these shirts that actually cover that. But I have some things I bought, and that would basically cover over what I just put on her, kind of thing. So I don't want to use that. That's kind of the same thing. That would kind of cover over what I put on her. So I don't think we're going to be using any shirts. Let's go to a coat. There is some coat things. Okay. Now I could put that on her, but that's going to cover also, so I don't really want that. Same thing, that's got a hood on it, and it kind of covers her. What I'm kind of looking for is, okay, those cover her. I think the huntress, I'm not sure where I got the huntress thing. Raider armor, maybe? Nope, same thing. And same thing kind of, sort of. We could throw this on her right quick. Now this is kind of funny because this kind of acts like a shirt. But you notice it has that number 4 on it, and then this one has, I think, a 7 on it. They have to have these different numbers on it. Otherwise, there's certain things, if the number's the same and you click on it, it'll put it on it, but it'll replace it. So let's put this on her just for grins. Okay, now the thing is too, is it either, no, okay, so she's still got the panty on, so she's still probably got that bra on too. No, maybe not. Anyways, if you convert this to a game object later, it actually it has a function where it deletes hidden mesh, so all of them parts that are underneath her, that her body, are going to disappear. The other, like if that whole bra that is being hid, the warrior bra and the corset is being hid, it will disappear. Now you can see right here, there's a little bit of that corset right there. But it will delete the rest of it so that it isn't burning your polygons. It ain't making your game engine or whatever think really hard about that stuff. Now let's put that on her. And the only thing that's kind of funny now is I'm almost, like, her breasts are way too big, you know, like it almost makes her look cartoonish. It doesn't look real. So like the way she kind of looks in the bra with the big breasts is one thing. So, and I don't want to do it on here because you'd almost have to strip her down or put her back in a bikini. But I can take her. I think with her, like, we'll go like this. We'll select the base, which selects the whole object. And I think if we go back to her, let's go on to chest. And let's go to chest. Let's see if it'll adjust. Oh, yeah, it will. So I can bust size. I can bring that down a little bit. Breast proximity, that's in and out. So they have, and again, one of the things I did is, okay, bust diameter, we can reduce that a little bit. So okay, so she's still kind of big chested, but let's bring the width in a little bit there. That looks a little bit better. She's still big chested there, but it doesn't look ridiculous kind of stuff. I wish they had a little bit, and I think I can put in negative numbers, but I also wish they had kind of a thing where you can thin out the hips and the butt a little bit. Which, like I said, I think they will. I haven't really played with it too much, but because it seems like you make them muscular, and it's like they make their hips real big. She had an hourglass figure, but it was like she was real, almost too voluptuous. I didn't, depends on your taste. I mean, but this doesn't look unrealistic. Where with her breasts so big that she looks like a triple D. Movie, porn actress or something. I don't care much for that. And the other thing, I don't mind too much like fantasy armor kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on Daz, but what I hate is that they have them so bare, and it's not that it offends me. It's just that it's so unpractical. In real life, you wouldn't have a girl dressed like Xena, and she's running around in the forest, and there's poison ivy and poison oak, and it gets cold and stuff, and it's like they have no clothes on, and then they put high heel shoes on them. They're out there like a elf warrior with a bow and arrows, and she's got kind of a green leafy armor kind of outfit that is fantasy and looks partially functional, and then she's wearing these freaking 5-inch high heels. It's just cracks me up. Alrighty, what do we got here? Those are and that's, I don't have anything that's considered dresses, which is a 2. Oh, it's a 7. Okay, now remember that's a 7, so that's actually kind of like classified as a dress, even though they don't say it. But if you clicked on one of these dresses, like if I click on this polka dot dress, that should disappear in the dress. Yeah, see the other piece disappeared because they had the same number. That's what I was talking about. So if we go back into, I think it was coats, and was it the Roman soldier? Okay, now that's interesting because this is the Roman soldier one, which is different from the Imperator. And see, same thing. It's got a 7, so it makes it like a dress. But if you're, I shouldn't say, I don't want to use the word lazy, but I'll use it for me. I'm lazy to a point. I could actually model a whole body. I could actually model all these characters like in Blender. So the first thing I learned kind of sort of about cheating with it, in a sense, is that I downloaded the character, the Genesis 8 models, because I'm like, they already got a model of a human. And they got a muscular one or whatever, and they have the morphs, and I'm like, why would I actually hardcore model or sculpt these models when they basically have them made, and you can just kind of like automake them. And it took me to make this girl and to make her skin red and throw the elf ears on her probably took me about 15-20 minutes. So, and then buying all this pre stuff. Let's go back into here. Let's go to, is it there? Head. Okay. So I have all of these. I think all of these are free. I think they come with character creator. So depending on what hair I want to put on her, I can throw this ponytail on her. And you can shade the hair, so that looks pretty good on her. Or if you wanted to throw the long hair on her, which it kind of hides the ears. So, and there's ways, which it's actually somewhat tedious though, but there's ways that you can take the hair and you can go to a mesh editor and you can get that hair all from around that ear. But it seems to me it's just easier to use a hairstyle that kind of shows the ears off if you're wanting to show the ears off. If you want to let's go back into clothes. And let's see. That's the coat still. Let's go to shoes. Again, these are shoes that come free. But I'm working on a medieval soldier slash whatever, so you wouldn't want, you wouldn't want like Nike tennis shoes on her, So let's go to the Roman soldier. And we could throw these on her right quick, which this kind of sort of matches the outfit. Other than I do kind of laugh though, because I think these boots and the Imperator boots are the same exact thing. This really more or less matches the Imperator chest plate. I think they could have used a different kind of metal. But this is where, like, I could export these to Blender, and or I could take them into 3D Code. I think I don't know if I could take them straight into 3D Code. I'd have to take them Blender first, back out now, back in, and I could actually texture these to be more like this silver and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that I'm kind of interested in. Now if I wanted to do this, and it's kind of funny, I actually made her hair taller, but because these boots actually come with the pants, if you wanted to do that, or so, and those do too, and some of them I think are the same thing. So I'm up to 41 minutes now, and my biggest thing was just kind of to do an introduction. I might have dived in kind of sort of the wrong way. I should probably thinking about doing this kind of as a series, and if I do it as a series, then I could go more in depth. And they have tutorials on this, and there's actually a lot of this I don't know yet. I've just been into this about a month, and I haven't been on it like say every day. I've made about 15 or 20 characters, and I've like there's things that all of a sudden it's like, oh, I learn, or I need to learn more about it. There's this this thing has an LOD, like this instant LOD, and in other words, for game engines, you can tell it. See, you can see the little characters on. This is just on the outfit. This isn't on her. And see, I'm not exactly sure how you pick the whole thing, or if you have to do the stuff separate. But this will actually, you can actually decrease the amount, or you can even, like, you can type it in. Let's make this 30, just for grins, because I'm not saving this. And that says by percentage, and this is by face count with its 5,000. Let's click on that percentage ones, and then let's apply it, and let's see if it should make these triangles and squares smaller. But if you go too far, you'll start losing detail, because your LOD means line of distance. In a game, like usually what happens, you have a low poly model, but you have high poly. Your bump map, your normal maps, all your maps make your detail look really good. But you try to have like a kind of like a low poly model in the game, especially if you got it in a game engine, so that your game engine isn't having to calculate all these points. All these points, like this ain't showing them, but there's little dots there. I mean, you have your lines, and you have your faces, and you have your dots. And your dots are called vertices. And I don't know if that made a visible difference, if you can see it or not, but it oh, there it goes. I don't know if you've seen that. Did you see how the triangles, or the squares, the grid squares, got bigger? Actually, that's in triangles. So they got bigger because it reduced the thing, but it pretty much kept the integrity of the way the garment, the textures looked and stuff like that, because of the bake textures and stuff like that. I'll close that for now. See, she don't basically look much different, but that gives you some control if you're making game models, whether you're making them for a studio or someone, or you're making them for yourself. then if you're going to put her into the Unity game engine or the Unreal game engine or Lumberyard or whatever, and get your game, and whether she ends up being an NPC, a non-player character, or she ends up being one that you model so that you can run her around, swing swords, and shoot arrows and stuff like that. And usually those ones are a little bit higher poly and higher definition because, you're this close to them, or you're playing them from like here. You're third person playing them, and you're either like right here, or you might even be right here where you're running them around and doing this stuff. But you're fairly close. Now, as you move away, the other thing you can set in here is it has a function to where you can set your LODs. You can set up to 5 LODs, which means like right up here, you have your highest poly count, you have your highest detail. Then you get to a certain point where it kind of it'll have less faces and stuff, and then you get further away, and it'll reduce that, and so on and so forth, and you get to the point where if you're that far away from that character, it don't need to have all that high definition in it because you can't see it, so it mimics it kind of like in real life. Like the further away you get, like that, you probably wouldn't even have buttons on that LOD. Now this one probably does because I'm just backing the camera up away from the scene, so it's not changing the resolution. She's actually still pretty high res, but in the game they would set it up to where you get to a certain point, she's almost just a stick figure. Like your LOD 5 might only have 500 polygons. Then you get to LOD 4, then maybe it has 2,000, and then maybe you get to LOD like 3 and it's got 15,000, and then you get up to LOD 2 and it's got 25,000, and then you get up to LOD like LOD 1 and it's 50 or whatever, or it's 5, and it just it's just that's the way that works for the game thing. And this has controls in it for that, so that's really nice. And this is also compatible with, and see, it'll ask, do you want to save this? And I'm going to say, no, I don't want to save it because I can redo that. Now, if we open up Biclone right quick, and it's going to take a minute, and while we're doing that, I'll jump back into kind of the DAZ thing. Anyways, I like the DAZ stuff, and like I said, if it gets to the point where if I could buy Bess for $11.37, and I can because I can put her in a T-pose and export her and import her into Character Creator 3, and I can have her face, because the biggest thing they do, sometimes it's body stuff, but for the most part it's just usually the face and the eyes that are morphed and stuff like that. Because I've been looking into the idea of maybe making content for DAZ also. Okay, now here's one. Oh, now these are poses, but I'm going to click on here right quick just because I want to show you like DAZ is they kind of have a big centaur thing going on right now. Okay, now this one ain't too bad. This person, whoever made these poses for these centaurs, you can buy them for $15 regularly. Right now you could get them for $9. You could pay $10 for the interactive license. That's not too horrible, but that still doubles the price to put these, just to use those poses in a game engine. Not to mention that you need the centaur. Now the centaur here, again, this Genesis 8 female centaur, $28 on sale, usually $45, and then $50 for the license. So, and then I'm sure the male's about the same. So depending on how much stuff you want with the outfits and stuff, like I said, if you were building a game and you're just using DAZ assets, you could really quickly run up into thousands of dollars real fast. Let's go back down to, okay, iClone's open. Now close. Now what iClone is Yeah, and I could go into this, but I'm not going to take too long because I'm already running pretty long on this video. But iClone is, and I can take that character that I made, or I just dressed her up. I didn't save her, but I could import her into here. And I can import her in here as a game character to animate. Okay, so this is one this is like a freebie one. I haven't even seen this one. And same thing, you push Alt, and if you can pan with the right, and you can move it with the left, and you can zoom the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. But anyway, you put this game in here. Okay, what's this one here? And I think this is a statue. This is where you actually, different. It replaced him. I figured it would just put it in there with him. So this is a statue. So anyway, that's a prop. That's kind of funny. They say it's a character, but it's not really a character, I don't think. I don't know if it has the bones and shit. It looks more like a statue. So you can do some of the same things in here you can do in Character Creator. It has morphs and stuff also. But this is more set up so you can animate things. Like if I brought the girl in, like I was talking about, I made her and I gave her bow and arrow. I could bring her in here. This guy here, I can set him up. He's not in the T-pose, but I can set him up. I can rig up his skeleton, or if he has a skeleton, if you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what a skeleton is in 3D modeling, it's kind of like, they call it an armature. It's not like an actual skeleton, a human being. Like it doesn't have every single bone and the skull and all that kind of stuff. But what it does is you have kind of a line here to here, and that's your head. And then if you have this, like this could be set up to make this guy talk and stuff. So they actually put a lot of different control points to control all the face muscles and the lips and the smile and the eyes and the closing and the blinking and you can put sad expressions, happy expression, and there's another program along with this. You can do it in here or in the Crazy 8. You can make this guy talk. You can do this, and now they have some, which is pretty cool, because you can set a camera up that looks at your face, and when you talk, it will copy your expressions and it'll put it on that, which is super nice. Because if you want to make cutscenes for a game where the character walks up to, say, like a Roman soldier, and he asks him a question, and it gives you a choice that you can reply to him or whatever, and then you can make the cutscenes where he's talking to your character, which is nice, because in the old days it was a real pain in the butt to do that, and that really gives you some good tools. But what I was talking about, the skeleton or the armature, you just have these basic, for the most part, like the foot usually has 2 little lines in it, and then maybe one on the ankle, one up to the knee, the thigh, so you can apply poses to this guy, or you can make animation Moses. Like if you wanted to make this guy breakdance, you could have a whole thing where you can use the armature and the different poses, and there's some automation things in here where you can start him in one pose, and you could go to 20 seconds later and put him in a different pose, and when you apply play over the timeline, it will automatically make him do the movements to go from pose A to pose B, stuff like that. So this is more or less what iClone is used for. iClone is for that, and you can actually put people with scenes in here, because some people use this as kind of an animation studio. They actually make the animations in iClone, I mean they render them. They make a scene, or like a movie scene, not like just like a scene, like a prop scene, like a picture render scene, which you can do also. But I mean, you could actually make you could film like a miniature movie thing in here. You could make this guy talk and walk and break dance, and you could bring in a girl and she could break dance with him, or she can laugh at him, or you could bring in an orc that could whack him up with an axe. I mean, it's It's kind of crazy. It's not really what it's meant for per se, but it is kind of similar to Daz Studio in that sense, is that Daz Studio is made to kind of make animated art, either rendered pictures or animations, and this is similar, but it also can be used as an enter tool. You can bring the character into here from Character Creator 3 and put the animations and stuff on it. You can put it back into Character Creator 3. You can export the character from here or Character Creator 3, but this won't convert. I'm pretty sure this don't convert. You can't convert. Like this guy's already set up as a game character, I'm pretty sure. I don't think you could bring this guy into Character Creator 3 because he's already been converted into like a character base. But anyways, like I said, there's different ways you can do this stuff. There's different ways you can learn it. There's a lot to it. I enjoy it. I enjoy learning it. Let's cut this off. I'm ready to go out of there. I also play games a lot. In fact, I play games too freaking much. One of the games and this is funny. This is kind of like supposed to be Gollum and Shelob, which it isn't actually Shelob. It doesn't look like her, but she's a giant spider. That, I mean, she looks like Shelob in the sense that she's a giant spider, but she doesn't have Shelob's face. But this was actually made. This is a render from Daz Studio. Somebody did this, either bought or whatever. I'm pretty sure they bought this cave scene with the water, and they put the giant spider in it. And this is probably just posed. I'm pretty sure it probably didn't come from an animation. It probably just came from a pose. They posed the giant spider in here. They scaled it. They took Gollum, the Gollum kind of sort of wannabe Gollum thing that Daz sells, because sometimes they have what you would call knockoff copies of characters, and without flat out calling them what the movie would call them. And anyway, they set up their imaginary camera in Daz Studio so that it was cropped in like this and had this angle. And they set their lighting settings, and they probably rendered this. They actually rendered this picture out. And, you know, so this is one of the things that people use the Daz content for. One of the other ones, which I don't want to capitalize on too much, but pretty much all your 3D pornography that's online is, a majority of it is made with the Daz 3 content, and or there's another site called Renderotica, and they actually have 3D modeled like the genitalia and that kind of stuff for the Daz characters and stuff like that. And Poser also uses Daz characters, but Poser's a fairly expensive program, but it's like this might have been set up in Poser, because Poser has a lot of extra stuff that Daz don't. It's like Daz is kind of the basic program, and Poser is more of the elaborate one. Anyway, I hope that's a good introduction to start with. I will segregate some topics, and I will talk to you more about Blender and or Character Creator 3 and or Daz and or modeling in general, making characters, whatever seems to tickle people's fancy. If you want to know about certain things, ask me. I'll try to answer it. If I don't know, I'll try to find out. If I do, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. And thanks for watching.